recording?
I had one job and I messed it up totally.
Push that for a second. So it's not on auto.
We are right in the perfect spot.
He's down. Oh my gosh.
A big old sucker.
Where you want me to go?
Sorry, I can't see anything without my glasses. I'm so old.
Good shot.
I like to keep my bow at 25 yards. Because a lot of times, it probably won't happen this week because, you know, we'll see these deer coming and we'll kind of know where they're going to be, and we'll have time to range. But a lot of times you don't have time to range, they just pop out on you. And I like to keep mine on 25 yards, but I like to shoot at 20 to see how high it is at 20 yards, and I like to shoot at 30 to see how much it drops.
We're gonna fly out of the tree stand with all this wind.
Yeah, wind is bad. I tried to shoot a little bit and it was like trying to shoot off a sailboat.
Yeah.
In a tsunami.
In a tsunami?
In a tsunami.
Alright, second evening here in Nebraska, September 2nd. And now I feel like we're in the chips. One thing we observed the last 2 nights is that a lot of the bucks kind of gravitate towards the corners, meaning the west corner, which we're on the west corner now, and the far east corner. The does are the ones that kind of congregate in the middle, kind of that safety in numbers kind of mentality, and they blew and blew and blew at us last night. So I really feel like we're in a good spot. If that buck that we saw 2 nights ago does the same thing he did 2 nights ago, he's going to be dodging an arrow, because we are right in the perfect spot.
Road Trips is presented by Realtree, Chevrolet, CBE, Insights, Monster Mill, Easton, and Primal Tree Stands.
Is it recording? I'd probably shut that camera off right there just to, so flip that switch right there, and then the side one on the monitor. Hey, still going off last night's high.
Let's go 2 for 2.
Trying to go 2 for 2. We're back in my favorite stand in the world. This is where I killed my biggest buck ever by far 2 years ago. Mer. Mer. What do you think?
Freaking
Smoke City, isn't it?
smoked it.
That's him. We've been after that sucker for a few days. How about it, Tyler?
That's a giant.
You like him?
That is a stud.
Push that for a second. Alright. So it's not on auto. This field's basically cut in half. Most of the lush alfalfa is right here around this cottonwood row. So it should have the deer more confined in a certain area. And it looks like on camera most all of them are coming out of the north, so we have the perfect wind, strong wind to cover up our noise and our movement. So we're trying to go 2 for 2.
There's not much to talk about here because you pretty much just sitting over a water knoll. It is day number 2 in Nebraska, and it is hot. I mean, it's blistering hot. We're in here sweating. Yesterday we were sitting on the alfalfa field, and today we are sitting on a watering hole. They're gonna come get this water this evening, so we ought to be in the chips. They've been having some good deer come into here. They should come down that road or come from the north up here.
Look, if anything hits the fan, there's a full auto button right there. Up, left, right there. If you have any question, and it, like if it looks too dark or too bright, just hit that.
Road Trips is brought to you by Baku, Spartan, Redneck, Franke, Bushnell, Scott Archery, and Sever Broadheads.
I'm ready. I'm just sitting on go. Ready for the deer movement to pick up though. There's a deer right there. Right in front. Right there. Yep.
A little bit surprised. It's been kind of slow. But it's starting to get prime time. We got some does piling in here.
Realtree Road Trips is brought to you by Federal, Nose Jammer, First Products, Arctic Shield, Hoyt Bows, Lacrosse Boots, and Onyx.
It was good. We found out what we needed to. I mean, we had young 6x5 and the big crab claw 8, and probably 20 or 30 does come right underneath us, going from the beans over to the alfalfa. And I mean, Nobody even batted an eyelash at us.
Yeah. So you had a lot of deer in bow range though.
Oh yeah.
Dang,
Yeah, I could have shot straight down on that, on the crab claw 8, and the big boy didn't come out until, I mean, it was dark. It was probably 150 yards from us, and it was 8:37 when he touched the field.
Dang. Well, he ought to move earlier tomorrow, you think, just with the weather change?
Hope so. Yeah, it's supposed to get a little
Sweet.
cooler as the weekend goes on, so
10 or 12 degrees cooler, and you ought to have just the right wind too for that spot.
perfect. I mean, because the east is the best. I mean, straight east, and it stayed pretty constant all day
That
today.
helped that it didn't.
Like we only had like a couple of little bitty lulls, but for the most part, it was like
Because last
10
night it just dropped and then variable, right?
10, 12, 15 miles an hour all night, right up till dark. It was awesome.
I mean, that ought to really, hopefully, make things better because since we've been here, it's been real hot.
You think?
We pulled a blind in there this afternoon and got set up, and we had some deer coming out, but that blind had not been there before and they were a little bit leery of it.
Probably one of the slowest days we've ever seen up there. Normally there's a lot of deer, but we may have to make a change for tomorrow. A lot of the deer stayed to the east of us, and we got a wind that's perfectly out of the east tomorrow, so we may be able to move in and get a little bit closer. Get a little bit closer to where those deer are coming out, because I mean they're coming out of the brush, and as soon as they get to the alfalfa field, they're feeding. So we may have to push in a little bit tomorrow. So that's all she wrote for today.